Welcome to my solar addiction. Today's video. Upgrade Emporia Vue 2 to Emporia Vue 3.
Hello folks, welcome back to My Solar Addiction. My channel is about solar and trying to live energy independent completely if possible. So you're probably wondering why I'm sitting here with an Emporia Vue 3 in front of me. Well, if you don't know what your loads are and you don't know where your energy is going, then you probably won't be able to control it at its best or be as efficient as possible. So with the Emporia Vue, you can actually see how much energy is going to each circuit on your main home panel, or if you have a sub panel, you can do that too. And that way you can see where your energy is being used, make sure that you're being efficient. You can also find out things like your appliances might be going bad, because you'll notice things like it'll start using more power than normal. So if you have a refrigerator that normally uses maybe 250 watts of power just to keep things cool, and all of a sudden it starts going 350, 400, then guess what? It's working harder because it's about to fail. So then you can actually use that information to prepare yourself to buy that new refrigerator. So I'm really a big fan of Emporia. I already have the Vue 2 installed on my main home panel, but this one is supposed to be a little more efficient. And I'm going to actually uninstall my Vue 2 to put in the Vue 3, which is supposed to be more accurate. And I'm also going to add two CTs, which I'm going to show you what CTs look like in a minute, to my grid connection so I can see how much energy is going back to the grid. So I'm not only going to just see how much my loads are, but I'm going to see how much energy is going backwards and forwards to the grid, which I didn't have set up with my first Emporia Vue 2. So let's open this thing up. It's come sealed, so we've got some plastic on it. Let's get that off. Alright, so now we can get a better view of this thing. If you look at the back of the box, we can see that it shows you how the CTs are put in. You've got the two main CTs that go on your L1 and L2 going into your panel. And then each one of these little 50 amp CTs, these are 200 amps, these are 50 amp CTs, and they're going to go to each circuit. So that basically shows you the basic setup of it. On the other side, you can see supported system configuration, single phase 2-wire system, single split phase 3-wire system, 3-phase 4-wire system. It can be used with pretty much any setup that you have. So it works with Wi-Fi, so we're going to be able to see things via Wi-Fi network. Only 2.4 gigahertz. You can't use the 5 gigahertz. So you got to make sure it's on 2.4 gigahertz. Or you could hardwire it as well. And you're first greeted with a getting started with Vue, showing you what's in the box. Then we have circuit labels. Oh, that's nice. We didn't have that on the Vue 2. I like that. That's a good upgrade. Then we have our little box here that connects all the CTs. Okay, your power is going to connect in over here. You can see it says L1, L2, L3 if you have 3-phase. And then you have your Ethernet port. And then you have, these are for connecting those main CTs, the 200 amperes we're going to show you in a second. Now this is for your Wi-Fi antenna. And then all your circuits will be connected to one of these with those 50 amp CTs. Let's take them one at a time. We got two boxes with 50 amp branch circuit sensors, or CTs. And then we've got this little box here which has all the other stuff we might need with our setup. And there we go. These are those larger CTs, circuit sensors that are going to go on L1 and L2 coming in on your main panel or whatever panel you're trying to monitor. It's going to be our antenna. and a few other things. We've got some wire nuts. We've got our power cable. We've got our antenna for Wi-Fi. And then these are for connecting the power to whichever breakers you're going to use to start the power on this unit. It's got to be connected to 2 breakers. And each one of these boxes is going to have 8, so we have 16 total. And they just basically will clamp onto the wire for the circuit and monitor that circuit. And then this end would plug into the main control unit here, into one of these little guys like that. And like I said, it's 2 boxes of 8. So we have 8 more in here. Now we just need to take out the old. I could actually add it and have 2 of them running, but it's going to be kind of tight in my home panel. Even though I have a separate box for the unit, that for the Emporia Vue 2, I don't really need both of them on this panel for my house. I am planning on setting up a separate little sub panel, and I will be using the old Emporia Vue 2 to monitor anything I'm doing on the sub panel when I'm doing testing of equipment. So now all we got to do is set this thing up, and let's get to it. So we're going to take this panel off and show you the Emporia Vue 2 that I have installed currently. Here's our main CTs that is saying what power's coming into the panel. And these are our branch circuits here. Each one of our circuits is numbered. So I got my little box here. As you can see, the wires run down into it. And that was to try to keep some of the clutter down in the box. But there's my little transmitter guy with the antenna. First thing I want to do is I'm going to want to label all of my new ones so that as I pull them out, I'll put one back in and try to do this in a systematic way. Alright, so even though we got these labels on here, I want to be able to see pretty quick what number it is, so I like to make it super simple. Before we button this up, I want to show you how things are connected here. And I've got a few things that are a little different, but the power supply is plugged in on the side over here. Okay, and that's these wires, the red, black, white, and blue, going up through this tube. And then I've got these Wago connectors instead of the wire nuts. I had used those on my Emporia Vue 2, so I just swapped out the old power connections for the new ones. And of course it worked because it's the same company and the same basic power setup. But I also have these coming out of here, and I had to make extensions for them. And what that is this is my L2 grid connection and L1, and these two here are still separate so that I can monitor each leg separately, seeing what's going in, to and from the grid, so that I can verify any grid trickle from the hybrid inverters. I'm going to do a whole video on grid trickle, so I needed this data. And then I just put in these two, which are also connected to L1 and L2 of the grid, but I'm going to have those combined so I could have the combined number and the separate numbers live whenever there's any energy going to and from the grid, and I'll be able to monitor that in my Emporia Vue 3. So we'll go to the app and show you what that looks like. So this is the screen that you'll come to after you scan the QR code on the back of the monitor on your phone. It'll take you through the setup. You're going to connect to your Wi-Fi first. I have mine blacked out so you can't see what my Wi-Fi network is, of course, and the password. You're going to enter your password, and then it's going to connect to your account and set it up with your Emporia Energy account in the cloud. And then you want to personalize it. I named mine My Solar Addiction Vue 3. My other one is Vue 2. And then, does your system produce energy? You're going to click yes if it does, no if it doesn't. If you screwed this up, you can set it up later. I did that myself. Then it's going to update the firmware. It might take a little while. I sped this up. And then you're going to click done. And it'll take you to the screen where you can set up your devices, tell them where it is in the house, nest things, merge things. But I'd rather do that on the desktop app. Click standalone if you only have one. If you want to nest it under another one, you can do that here. So when you click at the bottom devices, this is the first screen that you're going to come to. And as you can see, I still have my Solar Addiction Vue 2 at the top there, and with no numbers because it's not connected anymore. And below that is the My Solar Addiction Vue 3 that we just installed. And we could see that there are some numbers there. And then I have all of my plugs around the house. I have Emporia plugs for individual circuits. And like I said, we could see the 2 units at the top, the 2 monitors. But this is the first screen you're going to see when you click devices at the bottom. So let's click menu and then go to manage devices and then click on My Solar Addiction Vue 3. And here's the page where we can see all of our circuits, and we would click on each individual to set it up. Like I clicked on AC. We could see that the type of circuit is an air conditioner. At the top, I can change the name, and I had already changed it. I added a 2 to the bottom there instead of a normal 1 multiplier because it is a 40 amp circuit, and this is 240, so it would double that, and that way you'd get a good approximation of what energy you're using. It's not exact. The only way to get exact, it would have 2 on that circuit, but that would be a bit much. This is what the screen looks like once you have everything set up. You're going to have to go through and put things in rooms and maneuver them from the previous Emporia Vue 2 to the Emporia Vue 3. And you can see right now my train system 4-ton is running, and it's got 2492 watts, 2500 watts it's using. And let's see, there's another part of the AC. The blower is down here. That's using 184. That's just circulating the air. It's on a separate circuit. And you can see let's see what else we got going on here. We got the washer is going. It's 173 watts. But we can see all of our circuits and what's going on now that we have it set up. In addition to that, I am monitoring my grid input and output. I have those 4 CTs. One of them is set up as the L1, one is set at L2, so I could see the individual legs. And then I have 2 more that are combined. I merged those 2 circuits to create a combined number that I could see at a glance. So I could actually see live what was going to and from the grid. And that's what it looks like. But great gizmo. Good for tracking your loads and knowing where your power is going. And it'll help you solve some issues in your house, figure out what's going bad, what's working right, what's not, what's about to die. Hope you enjoyed the video. I am going to do another video on Emporia. It's going to be more about the app and how to move things around, set things up, do merges, all that kind of stuff. Look for that video in the future. All right. Hope to see you next time. Take care.
Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed our video.